Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today we're going to be starting Special Selections Week. We're just trying to, well, at least I'm trying to get through the enormous Special Selections list. So the first week of every month, we will be going through Special Selections. Alright, so today's comes at us from Damian Kowalski. I hope I'm saying that right, Kowalski. Says, hello, Bryan. It's my first time submitting for special selection, so I wanted to give something by my favorite band. The song is called Blind by Swans. So, I was a little confused because that is not a swan on the picture. But, let's get into it. Let's see what's up with this Swans band. Very soothing. That choir synth going on in the background is doing a lot to add to the atmosphere.
Now some of us are weak, and some endure. Some people live their life with a violence that's pure and clean. But I saw a man cry once, down on his knee, in the corner of a darkened cell, and his pain meant nothing to me. But I was younger then, and young men never die. When I walked out in the sun, I was strong, clear-minded, and blind.
Kind of a heavy topic for such a soothing song.
It doesn't do any good. Please don't ask me a question, you'll just be misunderstood. And if you could step inside me, you'd feel what hatred brings. And if you saw with my eyes, you'd see what self-deception means. I was younger once, and I created a lie. Though my body was strong, I was self-deluded.
Using swells to increase the intensity.
Now show some pity for the weak of will. Because when we're drinking, we can never be filled. Show some understanding for the lonely fool. Because when I am drinking, I am out of control. Oh, I was never young, and nothing has transpired. When I look in the mirror, I feel dead, I feel cold, I am blind. I am blind.
Alright, so there's definitely one really cool thing that I want to talk about that happened in here. This song is a masterclass in writing a one-section song. I don't know how many of you guys caught that. Maybe more than I'm thinking, because it is kind of apparent. But this song does have, it sort of does verse, chorus, outro. That's it. I think there might have been a third set of verse, chorus. But that's it. It bounced back between those two things, and both sections were defined by the lyrical content and some of the embellishing instruments, not so much a core idea change. Usually, we talked about this in yesterday's Merging Moon. I think that was yesterday. Where a lot of post-hardcore and metalcore bands, they will go, faster and more rhythmic in verses, and then cut it to halftime and go more melodic for the choruses. There's two distinct modes of the song, and this song just says, we're not doing anything like that. Our verse and our chorus are going to be the same thing. The opening instruments, so that would be the drum and the choir and the acoustic guitar, are present through the entire song, playing the exact same thing they started at the beginning, at the end. They don't change. The only difference is what the singer's singing and some instruments that pop in during the chorus. I think it's only during the chorus they pop in. But we get the string swells during the chorus. I think I heard a trumpet once. It was one note, so that makes me think it wasn't a trumpet. But I thought I heard something brassy, but I guess it could have just been a specific way the string was being played on the violin, probably. Just like for a split second, I heard like a brass sound. But it's mostly, that's the only real differentiation, is that some layers are added into the chorus section. And the interesting thing is, even with the chorus, sometimes the words are different. There are some repeated parts of it, but it's not always the same exact words being said during the lyrics. However, despite that, the song still feels like it has movement, still feels like it has progression, even though it really is only alternating between two states. And those two states are, again, very closely linked. The foundation of both states is identical. But the song never feels boring. And part of that might be the vocalist. He has a captivating old man kind of charm. I don't know how old the guy is, but both based on his vocal range, how he's singing, and the fact that he talks about when he was younger, it gives me the impression that he's older, at least as a narrator of the song. But he has some of that charm of being an old man, of seeing life. Not necessarily even an old person. Anybody old who has experience and the wisdom that comes with the years, there's a sort of charm to their singing, I think, because there's some warmth to their voice that you don't typically always get with younger singers. And again, some of that is just how the vocal cords age. That's one of those things that comes with the age. But yeah, so he has this I don't know, charm to him, but then on top of that, he's also telling a story. All right? Think about books. Books don't have music to them. But even kids, age 3, 4 years old, sometimes even younger, if you can get them to sit still, love being read to. They love listening to stories. There doesn't need to be any sort of I mean, the rhyming helps. That's why Dr. Seuss books are so popular with kids. It helps to have musical components because that will capture the imagination, but it's not necessary. Kids will listen to a regular old story. You don't need any sort of pattern or change-ups or anything like that to tell an effective story. And I think that's what really is going on here. He's telling a story about parts of his life, and the music is more of an accompaniment to it. So the music doesn't need to evolve, it doesn't need to change, it doesn't need to be different throughout. It's more of just a background sort of audio floor for the story to take place over. I think that in a different setting, maybe we don't sing it and we kind of flush out some of the words and we turn it into a proper story, it would work as spoken word with nothing behind it. And like I said, some of that's part of the delivery, some of it's part of the fact that it's just sort of that kind of relatable kind of story where you're wanting to see what happens next. So yeah, I really dig this. It is not my typical sort of music, and I can't necessarily say I'm going to go out and listen to this specific song over and over, but I am very appreciative of what it is, and I am interested in what else Swans has. Because I'm a little curious if this is a one-off, and maybe they do have songs that are more traditionally composed, or if this is kind of what they do. You know, story-based songs that the music doesn't necessarily evolve because it doesn't have to. Either way, though, I will probably be checking out a couple of tracks from them just to kind of see what's going on, because it is, to me, unusual. I've heard songs like this, but it's not too often that it happens. A lot of music tends to be musical and tends to revolve around musical progression. Even if, like I said, it's just alternating between two states, like with metalcore, where you have your heavy and then your melodic, and then usually like an ultra heavy breakdown. But you usually write your parts to be in contrast to the rest of the song, and just having every part of the song identical, minus a few extra layers, is just really interesting. It shows you how you can take a single idea and build it up, but not in a proggy way. We have listened to a song, I don't remember what it was. I think it was when we did Classic Prog Week. Maybe. Might have been a special selection that was in the prog area. But most of the song had the same core foundation, but the song at the end was not the same as the song at the beginning, even though the same 2 or 3 instruments were still present doing their thing. The song just continued to build and continued to layer until it was a completely different beast, despite having a clear lineage from beginning to end. So we've seen songs completely evolve from start to finish while still retaining a base foundation. But I don't think we've ever listened to anything that is practically the same thing from beginning to end. And that's really interesting. Like I said, it's a really good case study, masterclass, if you will, on how to write a song that has no momentum, no movement, no direction. It's just kind of is, and that's really enjoyable. It's interesting to listen to. So this is where you guys come in, though. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought of Swans Blind, and if you know anything else like this that kind of does that, where every section is more or less the same concept, but the song doesn't get boring or anything like that. Like, it still has, it can still keep a listener's attention. So I'm interested in stuff like that. Also, if you have any more Swans requests, recommendations, I suppose would be a better word, let me know, because I'm kind of just going to go into this aimlessly trying to find some new stuff by them. But if you have any sort of core direction, maybe what I should be checking out next, having listened to Blind, that would be very appreciative. Alright, so yep, wraps that one up. You guys can hit me up in the comments. There's some buttons, like, subscribe, and a bell to ring. They help me out, they can help you out. There's also some links in the description, such as a link to blocked videos if you want to see what YouTube doesn't want you to see. And there's also a link to the Patreon if you would like to vote on future themes and bands, as well as join the Discord community. Alright, I will see you guys next time. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, with yet another special selection. 4th one in a row. We're just going to keep this special selection train going. Alright, you guys stay safe out there. Keep being awesome. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.